games. Whoop, let's go. Hursty games, and this how we do. Now it's time we
Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to another FIFA 22 sort of like a rating predictions video. But today we're also going to look at some perfect links that will potentially be available in FIFA 22. Now the reason I say potential is because there is a still chance some of these players could make a move. One or two of the players that are on the list and the 5 different links we've got in today's video, one or two of them are linked away, but nothing's been confirmed yet at the time of recording. So this is a little mix as to have a little look at a few options you could potentially have at the start of the game, and also have a look at a couple of potential rating predictions as well. Now one of the themes of today's video and today's perfect links are players that I don't think will be crazy expensive at the start of the game. And there's a couple of reasons I think some of these links will be a little bit cheaper than some other cards available. Some of them are either because of the nationalities or some of them just because of the ratings. They're not massively high rated cards, but cards that I think will suit the early FIFA 22 meta from my use in the beta, what I kind of think will suit how I think the gameplay will be implemented early on. So without further ado, let's get into 5 perfect links that I think could be good players to have a little look at for the start of FIFA 22. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first perfect link we're going to look at is going to be an English link from Manchester United, and that is Jesse Lingard and Mason Greenwood. Now obviously both being English and both playing for United gives them that perfect link. Now also the fact that we have got a right mid or winger or potentially a striker in Greenwood, he could either be either, because I think personally his best position is kind of playing as a striker. He's good on the left, he's good on the right, he's good up front. This is a bit of just a prediction. I kind of mainly based this off his 21 card being a right-sided player. I kind of did the same thing, but honestly I wouldn't be surprised to see him in any. But the good thing with that, any of those positions can easily link to a cam / centre mid that is Lingard. You kind of mainly play him in either of those two positions. Lingard, very good dribbling and not the slowest of players either, so we'll have a nice sort of just general dribbling on the ball in 22, which again I found dribbling particularly effective in 22 as well, and passing for me is another relatively important stat, and Lingard's passing is not too shabby either from my prediction. Got him up to a 79. I've also got Greenwood up to a 78. Wouldn't necessarily be against a 79, but I think Lingard is worthy of a slightly bigger upgrade than Greenwood was this time around. But again, I wouldn't be upset to see Greenwood get himself a 79. And again, these are just predictions. I'd love to give Greenwood a bit more pace than this. Again, as I've said in a lot of my other videos, I base it off of the generic FIFA upgrade system and using the 22 cards and the 21 cards to work out mathematically the growth of the player and their stats. So for me, these are the cards that I think you'd kind of see. The main thing to pay attention with why I think Greenwood will be good early on, very good shooting. If he is a winger, 79 is really good shooting for a winger, and again with a +1 with that 78 rating that I'm predicting him to get, 79 is the mathematical correct number he would get. Good dribbling, decent pace, and if he's quicker, also fantastic. And as I said, Lingard I think is going to be a very good, very versatile cam. That perfect link will do you very well, and it being in the Prem, there's plenty of other English players for some other strong links, but this for me is a very good starting perfect link for FIFA 22 teams. Our second link is going to take us to the Bundesliga, and we've actually got a Swiss perfect link. That is the Dortmund pair in Berkey and Akanji. Now I'm fairly sure Hitz, I forget his name, I think it's Hitz, is also still at Dortmund and is also still playing. I know he's a slightly older keeper, but I'm fairly sure he's still playing. The reason I didn't include him is because I think he is going to get downgraded to a silver, which is why Berkey is in there, and it's the highest rated player on our links today. I kind of wanted to avoid board ratings, but I felt like I couldn't leave this partnership out. Akanji is very good. He was very good at the start of 21, and I expect to see him with a small upgrade to an 80 rated card for the start of 22. Had a couple of off moments in moments of the season, but looking at his general stats of the season, looking at his general performances across the season as a whole, I think he will either stay the same or get a cheeky little +1, which is what I've given him on this card here. Very good pace, very good defense, decent dribbling as a centre-back as well, and as I said, dribbling is quite important, and on a couple of occasions on the beta I've actually had my centre-backs being able to dribble it past a striker and then play past that first line, and it's very helpful to have a player that can do that, and I think Akanji is somebody that will be able to fill those boots and play that kind of game for you. And Berkey for me, keepers in, again, I've only got the beta to really base it off of. Definitely feel a bit better this time around. I haven't used Berkey, I haven't had his card, but realistically, it's a good strong link. It's a good link to, again, a solid team. If Dortmund can bring in another decent centre-back, then you're laughing, but also there's plenty of good options at centre-back for, you know, quick players or players of a good nation to go alongside someone like a Kanji and open your team up to other options. For me, this is a very, very good sort of utility defensive option to have at the start of 22, and I definitely think it's taking this pairing into account is going to do a good thing if you're looking to start Bundesliga. Okay, and for the third link, we're actually going back to the Prem, and I did say that Berkey was the highest rated card. I've actually predicted somebody else to be an 83. That's my bad. We've gone to West Ham, we've gone with Czech Republic, and we've got Souček and Soufal, two players that had a fantastic season last season in the Premier League, and honestly, have started pretty well this season as well. I predicted Souček to go up to an 83 and Soufal to go to a 79. One of the main reasons I've kind of looked at Soufal specifically isn't just because I think Souček's going to be fantastic, which I do think he's going to be very good, by the way, but I think Soufal is going to be a very good player in his own right. He's not particularly slow. He's definitely warranting an upgrade, so I think he'll be pretty good, but he is very good at passing. He's very good at crossing in real life, and he's had not a bad season by any stretch of the imagination. He's also incredibly physical, so I think that would do you a good sort of job out wide with a lot of wingers, not normally being the most physical of players, but realistically I think this guy has got a very, very nicely suited right back card. I think with an upgrade or two he'll be fantastic, but early game I think he will be very much suited to what will be a very effective starting team. If you put something like an anchor on him, I think it would really suit him down to the ground, and his card would become a very, very good usable starting right back. And to get that perfect link to a player like Souček, who again is a very, very good player, and again if his card looks anything like the one I predicted, I think he'll be absolutely fantastic. So realistically I think this is a very, very good starting pair. The only slight thing to take with this, as I've said, the intention of this video is to look at players who are on the cheaper side of things. Souček could be a little bit, Souček could cost a bit at the start of the game, just because of his general looking stats and just because of how good he really could be at the start of the game as a CDM style player for the BPL. But if this team isn't too expensive, and if Souček isn't a million, or not literally, but isn't a hefty fee on your coin balance, then I think this is a very, very good potential starting little defensive mid to a right back for your BPL starting teams. Okay, for the next one, we're actually going to a relatively young pair over in Spain, and it is at Barcelona, and that is Ansu Fati and Rui Puig. Now, I wasn't going to pick Puig to start off with, I won't lie to you. I was actually going to pick Elena, but Elena has actually gone to Getafe, I'm fairly sure, and I think it's either permanent or it's a continuation of his loan. However, I think Ansu Fati is very, very good, and I think at the start of this FIFA he is going to be so suited to this starting meta. Now, I do think he'll start at a bit of a hefty price purely because of his pace, but I expect him to drop in price relatively quickly. Think like the Antonio of this FIFA. He started at stupid prices and just dropped really quickly, just because people realised that, okay, it's a starter card, it's not someone that I'm going to keep in my team for time and time and time. But I think that Ansu Fati is going to be an incredibly good card, and Puig is one of the better perfect links to him. Realistically, you could look at a much, much higher rated player like a Jordi Alba or someone expensive, but the whole point of this is to find a slightly cheaper alternative. The reason I homed in on Puig, I've predicted him to get upgraded to a gold this time around, is again, like I've said with some of the other cards, is the dribbling. His dribbling, if again going through how it sort of works with the upgrade system, is going to be very, very nice. The only kind of system this guy would really fit would be like a 4-1-2-on-2 narrow, where he kind of plays as a centre mid, like a box-to-box, because he's not defensive enough to be a CDM, and he hasn't got good enough shooting, in my opinion, to be a cam. A chem style on Puig I think will be quite important early on. Either go with like a shadow or a hawk or an engine, those kind of cards, depending on where you're playing him. But I do think Puig will do yourself a job, and I think getting that perfect link into Ansu Fati, if you need a perfect link, he's the man for the job. So for me personally, I think this is a pretty decent team to look at, or a little pair to look at. And that left-hand side, easily get yourself a Spanish left-back of your choice, and you're good to go for whatever other links you need. So for me personally, Ansu Fati and Puig, especially Ansu Fati, a decent little starting perfect link. And our final pair, we're off to France into the Ligue 1, and we're going to be looking at Camavinga, and I'm going to say this name wrong, I know for a fact, Mouassa, I probably butchered that, but a left back and centre mid pairing. Now, I know Camavinga has been quite heavily linked to quite a lot of teams. However, Nothing has been made permanent yet, and at the time of recording this, he is still where he is right now. And this for me could be a very good starting little pair. I have upgraded Camavinga to a 78. I haven't gone crazy with the upgrade, but I do think he'll get a decent enough upgrade. Had a very good season over in Ligue 1, and it's really proving to be a good little player. He could potentially just go up to a 77. I don't see him going above a 78, but I just kind of homed in on that. Again, these are just predictions for what their cards will potentially look like. But again, very well-rounded card. Really super well-rounded as a CDM or box-to-box centre mid, like we were just saying with Puig, except Camavinga's card is a bit better, is basically the main difference there. And also, I think I'm just going to say the left back because I'm not going to say his name right. I think his card, again, kind of like we said about Soufal, minus the physicality, it's a very similar card. Decent pace, good dribbling, good defence. This guy's got decent physicality, and again, with the right chem style, which would basically be an anchor card, this guy will do you an absolute job. I really do think this guy is good. So personally, I think this is a very, very good option to start off with in the Ligue 1. And there are, as I've said before, plenty of like French players to get those strong links into, to just finish off like a little trio on one side. These guys have got a perfect link to each other. They're already laughing. Honestly, if Camavinga stays, even if he just stays in Ligue 1, he's going to have plenty of good links. But if he stays where he is now, this little duo here is going to be fantastic. And that is going to be where I end today's video, those 5 perfect links. Let me know your thoughts on those perfect links, and if there's any other sort of positions in particular or any other leagues you'd like to see some good perfect links for, then let me know down below. As I said, these are just predictions, so please don't think that these are the final cards. These are just predicted cards. Don't get on a case about it. We're having fun. FIFA 22 is nearly here. Let's just have a laugh with it. Let's be excited about it. So comment down below if you'd like to see more kind of videos like this. Let me know. If you're new to the channel, then please do hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. If you want to catch us on our live streams, Hursty Games YT link is in the description over on Twitch. So make sure you go and check that out. And while you're in the description, check out our channel sponsors of M21 and Real Footy Prints. Code Hursty will get you a discount at both. But for now, guys, I want to say a massive thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash those hands.
Nah, his name
in a
is
bit.
Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, or say hello. Entertain, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty Games, yeah, you already know.